The the majority of the last few days has been spent working your way through the mountains that this tribe calls home. Along the way, you've noted that things have begun to deteriorate in strange ways a few of you are familiar with. Specifically, you have plants and animals that seem to have been drained of life somehow. Granted, most of them have also been eviscerated or torn to shreds, but those things happen. Eventually, you came to a small valley of sorts. Now, what made this valley interesting is that none of you ever remember seeing this kind of valley on a map. Now, granted, most of the trees are covered in a layer of powdery snow. The air is still crisp and extremely cold. For the most part, things are tranquil almost, though it's almost dusk. And currently, you're at essentially one of the higher edges of the valley. You've marked out a path to climb downwards tomorrow morning, but, well, attempting to traverse the path in the dead of night, especially with creatures like the ones you've ran into in this region already, none of you feel that confident. So you make camp for the night. If you want to converse for a while, you can.
Octavius is kind of being to himself, realizing he may have overshared.
I'll be somewhere far, still continuing doing on my rifle. Notes on my rifle.
All right, roll a general intelligence check then. So for the most part, you've gotten a base prototype design down. You could with this design in full build what will become a rifle. Granted, this is a rifle that still has a single shot capacity that would need to be reloaded, that would need to have the shots loaded into the rifle. But if you want to keep going from there, you can continue in another day to try and modify the design to include a magazine of some sort. But for now, you have all the drawings, sketches, and measurements required to build a fully functioning single-shot rifle. Effectively, you've designed a musket at this point.
Is it a musket or is it like a? Have you seen the movie Zulu by any chance?
I don't believe so.
Can you repeat the name?
Zulu.
No, haven't seen it.
It's a rifle where it literally shoots one bullet, like modern bullets, not like I don't have.
Oh no, that's what I meant. Like you're not shooting a ball. You're not shooting a ball and powder. You're shooting cartridges.
All right.
It's just the problem is the rifle at the moment is only built and only designed to hold and fire a single bullet at a time. Now you can continue making checks and other days to continue redrawing and modifying these designs to incorporate a magazine of some sort that could hold more bullets. But at the moment, you'd have the ability to create a fully functioning rifle. It just would not have all the specifications you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue working on it. Start on new pages.
All right. So, do you want to keep working tonight, or are you gonna put that away for now?
I could still go, right, without exhaustion.
If you did, you'd have to. You're kind of burning the can. At this point, you're starting to burn on fumes. At this point, because at the moment, it's kind of getting late at night, and even you have your limits when it comes to how long you can work.
Another time, then.
Roll an intelligence check with disadvantage.
I said another time.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said you were going to try it, but all right. So you're going to put it away, and you're just going to rest for the remainder of the night.
Correct.
Toki, you want to do anything, or you just going to sit in the corner and watch everybody?
I am studying.
All right. You're sitting in the corner. Got it. Octavius, roll a... What the hell? Anybody else see the 8 on the map?
Yep. I saw it earlier.
No idea what that is. Anybody else?
I see an 18 on a die, but I don't see an 8. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
I just deleted it.
From,
right.
I just clicked away. That was attached to Toki's.
The map.
18 was mine.
No, I clicked on the map, and both the die and the 8 went away.
Yeah, no, that's because I deleted it.
Oh.
It was like a sticker or something. I don't know. Point being, Octavius, roll a... What's your passive perception?
I know it's not good. 11.
She wouldn't be hiding it. All right. So, you notice Alicia herself. You've fallen into a bit of a pattern these past few nights where the sounds of Azrael's sketching in his notebook is sort of become a ritual for you. But eventually you do know that that eventually has to stop, or else he starts getting sloppy. Mostly because you hear him utter curse words under his breath whenever he does. But a few minutes after Azrael puts his own sketchbook away, you still hear the scratching of something. Sounds like a pen or some kind of marking material, marking against paper or rock. One of the two. Sounds like it's coming from close by. The only problem is it's not from anyone in sight.
Does it sound like claws scraping against rock?
No, it sounds a lot like what Azrael was just doing. Like somebody has a notebook or has some kind of paper to write in, has a pen or some other form of writing tool, and is legitimately just scratching away at the paper. And because Toki at the moment is writing something down, and given the people you grew up with, you know the sound of writing and sketching very distinctly, or at the very least, it's something that you've picked up over the years. And this is sketching, not writing. One sec, I have to let my dog in. Sorry, I had to do something. All right, so, but yeah, no. Octavius, it sounds like somebody's sketching something. But Azriel's already starting to conk out and go to bed. Toki's just reading. Alicia's asleep. The other two, Red and Ross, the snake guy, are also, you think you heard they were going to be patrolling the area, taking watch? So both of them are gone. But
I try to figure out where exactly it's coming from.
You can try. Roll a perception check with disadvantage. Well, not with a disadvantage, just straight.
Perception, you said?
Sorry. Yeah, perception. Sorry. 1 moment. I have to check something.
Fuck, I can't inspire myself.
You can do this. You can do this.
That's not bad.
Okay, 14. Let me check. No, that would work. Okay, so you know what's coming weird. Because the way you're working on it, you're essentially sort of at part of the ridge into the valley, because where you're camping out is sort of the sheer cliff face. And there's trees that like are growing at the odd angles, like growing sideways essentially to get the most amount of sunlight. You swear the noise is coming from there?
From the trees that are growing off the cliff?
Essentially.
I would like to go investigate this noise.
All right, roll investigation. You're not going to get that close, so you're not going to be able to get too close, because again, it's a sheer cliff face, and these things extend 40 feet down.
Go!
Those are trees, and one of them's probably pretty damn noisy. Beyond that, I don't know.
There's an 18 and a 20.
Freaking hearing things now. Great. I go back to camp.
Oh no, you're certain it was there, because another thing was the moment you went there, the tree just went dead. Whatever the noise was, just went dead silent. Like, the scratching stopped immediately the moment you started peering over the cliff face. So, I don't know. Again, point being,
I have something in my equipment. I don't think it would help at all, but I'd like to attempt it. I have a
What
candle.
Is it? You may. What are you planning on doing?
I was going to light the candle and just like use it to look over the edge.
All right. So you're essentially just gripping this wax candle that's lit and peering over the edge. Make another investigation check, because when you wandered back over to the fire pit to the campfire you guys have set up to light the candle, you noticed the scratching started up again.
That was almost a 16.
Yeah. Point being, you get the general sense. Okay, this time when you move over, you see the faintest outline of something just dart through the trees, like the branches, the moment you look over the ridge again.
Well, That's not terrifying. Okay. And
you get the sense that it was. You also saw it was vaguely humanoid. Beyond that, your guess is as good as anybody's.
Okay, no, I won't do that. Fucking hey. I don't know what to do with this.
Something wrong over there.
Yeah, so you got woken up by this guy just mumbling to himself.
We appear to... I like, go over and whisper to him. We appear to be followed. Being watched.
Octavius, keep in mind, the moment you walk away from the cliff face and towards Azrael, the scratching starts up again.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this to your discretion because I just have an idea, and it sounds bullshit.
What's the idea?
Could I, in theory, from the scratches, try to mimic the lines and figure out what the hell they're scratching? I know it's 100% bullshit. I figured I'd ask.
Okay, no, because this is actually kind of ties into your origin, because one of the people you ran with was extremely good at forging documents, and it's actually how your group gained access to most of the cities they went into that would require a rite of passage or some kind of document stating that they were allowed into certain areas. And he taught you a bit of this. Roll of sleight of hand check. Because this is about like deafness of fingers and being able to take sounds that you hear and essentially copy them.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, let's see. You
Every time it always almost hits something good, then it hits the edge.
You know what? I'll pity you. You get advantage because this is kind of a trick that as a kid you were really excited to learn. So you spent a lot of time practicing.
Are you kidding? You saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it was almost a 17. And the sad part is 17 was what you needed.
No, that would have been 17 plus 3.
No, I know. 17 as a base would have gotten you it.
Oh, that makes me so mad. Okay, I can't. I'm making scribbles.
Well, partially. You're making the basis of a face. Not like any of the details or anything good. You're just making like the basic outline of a head. Or at the very least, they're making the one motion that you can pick out that is distinct, that is very clear to you, is a constant circular motion at times. Everything else, you might as well have just strapped it to a foot and just allowed it to go all wild all over the page. I was going to say something else, but I'm not gonna. Point being, that's the only real motion you can pick out of the scribbles, is that at certain intervals, they're spending, and the intervals like change. Sometimes it's like for about 2 seconds, and sometimes it's almost a minute, that they're just making ovals and circles.
Can I do a perception check to see where the noise is coming from?
Sure. Roll perception.
So he gets advantage.
Yeah, roll perception with advantage because Octavius has a general idea and is kind of like just pointing. It's over there.
19.
All right. You also know that it's coming from the trees, specifically the trees closer to the edge of the cliff, like where it's gonna have to be one of the trees that is closer to the top of the cliff, like where you guys are currently camping.
I relay this, but but through Octavius' mind.
Wait, you're doing what now?
You're hearing voices in your head.
Oh yeah, telepathy.
Hey, talk to me! I'm not going to do that. What?
Don't think about it. Just next. What's our next action towards this stalker of ours?
I doing like hush whispers just enough so he could hear. I don't know. It's from what I can make out. It's drawing one of our faces. I don't know why. And they're freaking nuts if they're hanging onto those trees. I don't know.
So it's cut off the light, and I could make my way towards them. Think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, let's go with... God damn it, I thought I had a spell that would have helped that, but I don't. Never mind.
I'm actually quite nocturnal. I tend to do better in the dark.
Alright. I'll lower the light as low as I can, and I'll try to distract it. And at that point, I will like kill the fire a little bit, and I will start playing on my horn, and I'll give him a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
And I'll sneak off and get close.
Roll stealth.
Oh, should I roll for my horn to?
No.
You have a D6.
Don't worry, he rolled a 2.
Oh, thank God. Oh, should I roll to distract?
No, you're just giving inspiration. Like, you're not. If you wanted to mask with the sounds of the horn, that would be performance. But since you explicitly said you're giving inspiration, that's a different thing.
Okay.
But Azrael, you managed to get to the cliff's edge while the person is still sketching. Now, the way it works is you're right at the edge. You can't see over yet, but the sketching sounds about... What's your passive?
13.
You made it about 10, 8.5 feet away from you. Now, granted, you can't really differentiate direction, but you can get the general sense that it's that far away. Toki, from your point of view, Azrael and Octavius are being really fucking weird at the moment. Toki?
Contact lost.
Earth to Mr. Blackheart.
Yo.
Yeah, no, Toki. From your point of view, Azrael and Octavius are just acting really fucking weird at the moment.
What else is new?
No, it's just keeping you updated.
Okay.
I look weird.
All right, so
actually...
yeah, no, Azrael. Yeah, no, the problem is, like, you guys might be doing something of grave importance, but you guys just look really fucking weird.
Says the zombie with stitching across his body.
Hey, he's not a zombie.
He was human with a bunch of
He's human question mark, but point being, Azrael, do you want to try to do something?
Well, how far was it by any chance? 8?
About 8.5 feet.
Can I get closer?
You're at like the very edge of the cliff. Doing so, going any further would be like to push parts of your body off the cliff, or at least allow them to hang off. And this would also require another stealth check because now you're essentially putting yourself into possible direct lines of sight.
And I can't see it. I can't see this person.
Not at the moment. You can hear them still. So if you want to try to move forward more, you're going to have to roll another stealth check.
I'll take out my pistol and make my way closer then.
Roll another stealth check.
D6.
Yeah, D6.
That's a 15.
All right, yeah. So you slowly push yourself out, and you have the pistol drawn, and you still hear the scratching noises.
Can I see him now?
Do you have dark vision?
Yeah, dark vision and something that allows me to get a... Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, I got dark vision.
Range?
60 feet.
All right, yeah. You can see the trees. It's like this weird black and white sort of thing. And yeah, no, dark vision essentially gives you like sort of ability to see things, but it's always in like black and whites and grays. You see nobody. You hear scratching. You definitely hear the scratching, and it's like essentially you're hearing it blast into your face at this point. Now, granted, it's still a really quiet noise, but given the fact that there's like not much noise, ambient noise in the background, it definitely stands out.
It's a drow then. That's my guess.
Motherfucker's invisible.
Shit, and I don't have nothing to light up the area.
Now, point being...
Wait, can I see a book or a pen? Something?
No.
Something in a book.
There is fucking nothing.
Oh!
It is an empty fucking tree.
Don't tell me it's the tree itself.
I have an idea, but I can't tell you because it's out of character. Damn it.
I could tell you that I could tell you through your mind, like, what the hell is going on.
No, it's out of character. It wouldn't have occurred to Octavius.
Can I talk back to him when he telepaths me?
Sure.
So he can tell me what he's seeing, then.
I'm keeping them as it's going on.
In my brain, because this is very new to me, is there, like, leaves or branches that are getting pushed?
So essentially you're telling him to look for the depression of where somebody might be sitting.
Like, if, like, someone was standing in a, like, pine needles would bend against their back because they're...
Yeah,
bare.
no, okay, yeah, no,
You know
I see
mean?
what you're talking about. Yeah. Necro, you get what he's saying?
Yeah.
All right. Roll a perception check.
And it's complete darkness, right?
What'd you say?
It's in the dark, right? Dim light to darkness.
Yeah, it's still dark vision.
Thank God I have advantage then.
Oh, you have advantage on dark vision?
No, I got advantage if I'm seeing in the dark or in dim light.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get disadvantage if it's in direct light, in direct sunlight. $18. God.
Did you see it knocked your 4 into a 14, but it didn't count the 14?
Yeah, no. Also, I was gonna say, Necro, I was gonna say the sunlight sensitivity thing is something I never like working with. So if you want to just get rid of that, you'd also have to get rid of your advantage for nocturnal senses, but
But I'm emo. I'm trying
yeah, no, but you're also a sharpshooter, and having disadvantage on sharpshooter strikes can lead to your gun blowing up in your face. So it's up to you, but I personally, as a player who's had to deal with that shit before, it can seriously fuck with you it can seriously fuck with you at times when it's really not opportune.
If it's in direct sunlight, that kind of thing.
You'd have to get rid of like the entire nocturnal sense. You still keep your dark vision, you just no longer get the advantage.
Even if I keep it, odds I lose it.
Yeah, no, you can use it this once.
Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah, you'll use it this once, but after this, we'll just pretend it never existed. All right, so you see this small outline of what looks to be a sitting position. So for the most part, yeah, you do now see where whoever the hell this is sitting. Unfortunately, it's at this point that the scratching stops. You hear this slight giggling sound, and then
bang.
The depression is gone.
You said bang before you said the depression was gone.
Roll an attack with disadvantage. Because
it's invisible.
Yes.
Oh, that's a 10.
The shot, yeah, no. So, Toki, from your point of view, you're just like reading the bang.
Oh shit!
And I rolled 10 on the damage.
You missed it.
My ears.
I run over to the cliff.
All right, the gun's smoking. Octavius, are you holding the candle still, or are you just running over with nothing? No light source.
So let's say I'm holding the candle.
All right, because otherwise I was going to say, you're just going to look into, like, pitch blackness.
Yeah, because human. No eyes in the dark.
No, I know. But point being... Okay, so... way it works is... Octavius, you see... because the moon is shining in pretty nicely. At the very base of the canyon, you can swear that you see one of the trees shift slightly against the wind pattern.
Our little friends on the run.
Yeah, and we're up a cliff. What do you want me to do?
You got rope, don't you?
Wait, by the giggling, was it a male or female?
Roll
You're
roll
pretty
a
close.
roll a what's the check for discerning gender through voice?
I would say either insight or perception, whichever one deals with audio better.
Roll insight.
Doesn't matter since it's both threes.
It was fairly high pitched. Though then again, you have known some men with fairly girly giggling. So, I don't know.
What's the plan? Do we go after it?
I think now since I'm not sure exactly. All I know is that it's invisible.
Would I know how invisibility works?
Yes, you do. It's a spell you, during your adolescent years, fantasized over learning. And let's be honest, if anybody grew up in this world knowing magic would exist, every teenage boy would fantasize about learning that damn spell.
Yep. Yeah, they would.
I wonder why.
Alright, odds or evens?
Odds.
We're going after him. I get my rope. I go run my bag, get a rope, and start climbing down the trees.
It's at this point, Alicia kind of gets up and says, "What are you guys doing?"
We have a stalker.
And why are you going down the cliff at night?
That's where it went.
That's a very good question. What am I thinking?
And especially
Octavius, you're about 5 feet down, and you can see like where the person was sitting, like the indent's still there.
Do I see anything else?
try kicking.
No. Well, you see this small piece of paper like wedged in between wedged in like the crack that the branch forms with the trunk.
Am I able to get to the branch safely?
Yeah, you got like 40 feet of rope.
Alright, I get there and get the paper, and I assume I left my candle up there, so I'll bring the paper up with me. And I look at whatever the paper is.
It's a folded piece of paper.
You know what I mean.
All right, you open it up. Just says, "Hi." And then the drawing of a butt.
Don't tell me.
I'm gonna ask, how detailed is the butt?
One moment. I have to roll for butt drawings now. Pretty detailed. I mean, it's like drawn in a cartoony fashion, so it's not like anatomic or anything, but it's a pretty cartoony butt. It looks real.
Gentlemen, we are dealing with a master of their craft.
Azrael, you also are like peering over his shoulder and just look at this as like, what the fuck?
Now I'm wondering, who does this belong to?
Alicia kind of looks over the shoulder as well, and it's like, what? I'm going back to bed. And she just goes back to bed. She is not built for this yet. At least not this early. Point being,
I am going to pocket the picture of the butt.
Okay, it's a note that says hi and just so happens to have a drawing of a butt, first off. And second,
The suspense.
God, I'm so happy you guys got that event.
Oh no, you know we're in trouble now.
No, this was just like random encounters. One of them was just a big ass bird is watching you guys from a tree branch. It just so happened you got the butt artist as I wrote it down in my book. And it's only labeled the butt artist is because that seems to be the calling card this guy leaves behind.
So it's a heathen.
No, I'm just assigning guy because it's genderless. But it is a talented artist, apparently, according to Octavius. So, do you guys rest?
Yes. Dear God.
All right. Give me a moment. I need to check on my dog to make sure she hasn't ripped into anything.
So that was effectively the same kind of random bullshit that got freaking... Oh, I can't remember his name. My monk character. What was his name?
Rainer?
Right. Remember when Rainer got an elf girl necklace?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in the same table.
I thought it was going to be Lucy.
That would have been awesome! That would have been a hell of a tie-in. Alright, I'm gonna be honest. When he talked about someone freaking drawing us from afar in the trees, I was actually really concerned it had to do with my tattoo.
You have a
Back.
tattoo?
I did.
All right, so morning comes, and things are fairly tranquil.
Oh, do we get XP for butt artist?
You know what? Just for the sheer insanity, all of you get 10 XP. All right, so the rest of you got a few other things. Yeah, you all get 10 XP from that.
What was the last thing?
And yeah, and from there, things move on. So, you guys begin the long and arduous trek down into the valley. Things have begun moving. Things have begun moving a bit more. Okay. There's a lot of animals that you guys see along the way. Oh. Toki, all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, it was just you're kind of like snoring loudly into the mic.
My bad.
And for the most part, things become a bit harder as you guys get further and further into the valley. The ground gets a bit more treacherous, and eventually, even the roots itself seem to have laid themselves out specifically to trip you up. Now, for the most part, things get pretty dark at this point, to the point where essentially you guys are all operating on dim light.
Hope you brought torches. Might gonna get
One
dark.
moment.
Well, I have 4 more candles. And 3
Doesn't
jars
matter.
of oil. Does anyone have a lantern?
I don't think so. I don't even have torches. Oh yeah, I do. 9 torches. And a vial of something that I got since the beginning. And everybody checking what it was.
All right, so for the most part, you guys are right about here.
Sorry, I was zoomed in. Where? Oh, there.
Around here. Toki.
Yes.
We have a map.
Load in.
Load in what?
We have a map.
I'm looking. Hold up, let me refresh my page. All right. Anywhere on the map or in the circle?
Very
Back on the bottom.
There I am. There's my ugly mug.
Okay. So, you guys see this like small clearing, and for the most part, it's pretty nice. It's actually an area where the tree lines seem to break, and the world and the light and natural light streams in. There's a large tree trunk in the tree in the middle that seems to grow far larger than any of the other trees surrounding it. Granted, it's still a pine tree like all the others, but this one's a bit different.
Well, this place seems nice.
quite pleasant if it wasn't for all the
Were you going to say bodies? I was going to say bodies.
I was thinking of corruption.
So, who wants to go in?
In the name of science.
All right.
Haven't you heard don't stick your dick in crazy?
Hey, but the only cure for crazy is dick.
Alicia kind of chimes in. Octavius, I don't think that applies here.
Besides, I wasn't going to stick my dick in it.
It's an expression.
Please. Yes, but one that does not apply in this situation. I hope.
I mean, if it's for science.
Okay, now you're just taking it too far.
Lead on, Mr. Scientist.
Note, I've zipped up my heavy leather jacket and put on heavy leather gloves.
All right. Where are you exactly trying to go here?
Well, where's everything in relativity to us?
It's about 50 feet from the back of the pack to the tree. Excuse you.
Thank you. That was just confusing my brain. It didn't know what it wanted to do. Let's get in there. I want to get in there like swimwear. Duh.
I'll stay 10 feet behind you.
Well, I would hope so. I'm the only one with a shield here. And the first 3 rows are a splash zone.
So far, nothing happens.
Speaking of that, I do pull out my shield and
One moment. So, yeah. So far, nothing's happened.
Moving closer. If my thingy-mabobble move out my way.
Brian, your mic's going crazy.
Sorry, what happened?
Your mic was going crazy.
Oh, sorry. My bad. So, Octavius, you just stand in the back?
I'm smart enough not to get in the middle of whatever the hell's about to happen.
It's for science, my friend. Also, some traps, it's good to be in the middle of them instead of on the outside.
Suspense. Just go up and touch the tree.
I was waiting for Brian to say something.
All this was an elaborate prank just to show us a tree. Nothing of value here. Just a pretty tree.
All right, so. Have either of you tried to touch the tree, is what I need to ask.
Not yet.
Okay. Nothing happens then.
Mason, I poke it.
All right. Are you hitting it or are you just tapping it?
I give it a good solid prod with the end of my mace.
Gonna come to life.
Sorry, Necker, what do you want to do?
No, I'm just saying it's gonna come. It's gonna come to life.
No, actually. Your mace hits the wood with a chung, but nothing happens.
I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy.
Yeah, at least. How does this tree look like other than being big?
Is it, well, flammable? Oh no, that's radiant damage. Is it, reactive to light?
All right. The magic just doesn't work.
Like, the spell doesn't go off or it does nothing?
I mean, it goes off. A small flame sparks on the bark of the tree, but then it immediately just snuffs itself out.
Okay, at this has Octavius's attention.
So what's the description of the tree? Other than the tallness of it?
All right. I need a sample of this very ugly tree. So we shall use the mace as a cleaving knife and knock some bark off the...
Hey, I'm Bard here.
Well,
All right.
I'm trying to cleave some bark off with my mace.
One moment.
Tree branch to the face.
Toki, roll a dex saving throw.
Oh my god, I was kidding.
It's not a branch.
it's one of those tree people. Or those living trees.
Tree ant.
There you go.
That doesn't change the fact that you gotta roll a dex saving throw, Toki.
You gotta hold on because people are hanging in a fucking Discord chat and it keeps popping up over my interface.
That's why you go to streamer mode. It disables that feature.
Okay. You notice just as about to happen, one of the branches that you were stepping on suddenly like jerks backwards. You manage to get your foot off of it just before your foot would catch and you get like thrown on your back. But several of the branches have now raised up and seem to be vibrating.
Nope.
What did I tell you? What did I say?
Hey, Octavius. It wants to stick its dick in you.
Toki?
Yes.
Roll an initiative check.
Wait, just Toki?
Yeah. One moment. So one of these roots has, while you were making that comment, one of the roots sort of whips backwards and smacks you straight in the chest. Roll another dex saving throw. You get thrown back 10 feet and are knocked prone.
The smile has left my face.
So after that happens, the roots slowly stop vibrating as much and quickly and slowly begin to lower back to the ground.
Okay, we can try that again.
Try again for a Zenny.
how about before you literally get impaled on a tree, how about we try the more gentle approach?
You want to touch the tree? Go ahead, touch the tree. Be my guest.
I'm gonna slowly walk up towards the tree, and while I do, I'm going to converse with the tree. Hello there. I'm sorry for my friend's rudeness. We're just trying to figure out what's going on with this forest. You seem to be someone who's been around here a long time. Think you could help us out?
Octavius?
Yep.
The moment you walked back into range, 3 of the roots have
How far is
risen
the range?
back
'Cause
up.
I moved a lot.
How close are you to it?
Well, the map just moved out of my pick. This zoom. Roll20's acting a bitch.
Okay, where are you?
Well, I
It
was
looks like
moving
he's
where
right
do
on
you
top
wanna-
of the tree.
Why am I not?
So you're moving towards it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so currently you are up against the tree for me.
Yes.
The problem is, once you got within 5 feet, the roots started getting back up.
We don't mean you any harm. We'll if you don't want to talk to us, we'll just go on our merry way. Is that all right? And I put my hand on the bark.
The
trying to
moment
sweet talk
roll
a
a dex
tree.
saving throw.
Dex saving throw.
Oh, you're trying to. Did you actually cast a spell, or are you just
No,
trying to
I
talk
am
to a tree?
I am just talking to a tree and putting my hand on it. I was not no magic.
Okay, the moment you put your hand on it, roll the dex saving throw.
Is there anything around the tree?
Just a bunch of the roots. Nothing that you can see unless you want to try to get closer. But okay, Octavius, you see the moment you put your hand on, you this, and it's more just like high speed vibration as one of the branches immediately darts towards you. You manage to jump back, and you have to like move back 5 feet, but a branch is now rooted in the ground, right where your foot was.
Told you wanted to stick something in you.
Alicia kind of calls out, "How about we just move past this?"
That was my shot. That's fine. Let's just ignore the giant tree.
Is there anything strange about this tree other than the tentacles?
Roll a nature check.
Let's see.
There's these weird purplish flowers growing along the trunk before the branches intersect. You've never seen these before. And these are like vibrant purple.
I want to get one.
All right. You managed to get up and pluck one, but roll a dex saving throw.
Can I teleport out?
Roll a dex saving throw.
Damn.
All right. You get slapped by one of the tentacles, but you still have a flower in your hand.
Toki, what can you tell me about this flower right here?
That's
I will.
Octavius.
Yeah, no, I went around.
What can I tell you about this flower? Let's go nature first. Dick balls.
It's a pretty flower.
History of flora.
Did you just try to roll 2 nature checks and you used your...
First, I rolled a nature roll to see if I could identify the flower from where we're at, and then I tried to roll a history to remember any flowers that are in this vicinity that look like this flower.
No and no. Well,
Yeah.
it's complicated.
26.
History-wise, these flowers aren't native to this area. They grow in marshes. Typically, they grow they grow within the Tyroodian theocracy.
Oh boy.
Specifically, the marshlands. The thing is, it's almost like a symbiotic relationship. It grows with the trees in that area. The flowers themselves attract bugs and other such things, and typically the sweet-smelling scent attracts small creatures that the vines, which have some measure of control, attack and will bury into the ground to provide nutrients to both itself and the tree. The problem is you've never heard of nor seen a report of a case this big. Because typically these things only go after like mice, voles, and the particularly small goblins. It's never said that the roots, which is its main form of attacking and defending itself, have ever gone after humans or anything of the like. Or anything particularly big. There are faint arcane elements to this flower. You notice there's a slight thrum as you hold it that seems to resonate specifically with certain types of druidic magic. But beyond that, you've got nothing.
So we got a druid that wants to make a super flower.
Yeah, that's one possibility.
We got a disease that keeps changing on its own. Do we have health nuts here trying to destroy the world?
Always somebody. And I take the flower back and put it in my I forget what you call those pockets on your chest.
How many of these flowers are there?
Counting, now that you're actually looking, about 10 round the entire base of the tree, and there's the occasional one dotted further up the trunk, but including the one in your hand, no more than 30. Though typically, because the trees are much smaller and much less thick and aren't as thick as this one, you get the general sense that this is probably just the fact that the flowers that the plant itself, and typically like multiple flowers will make up one plant. It's essentially an extremely complicated vine-like plant. You probably figure that the number of flowers isn't due to any magical property, but more just due to the fact that the vine itself had so much tree to work with that it just produced so many flowers. Really, the first thought that comes to mind is perhaps the druid simply used the magic to adapt the flower to the colder climate and didn't alter it in any other way. And maybe this is just what happens if the flower gets access to a much bigger tree. You don't know. You've never seen something like this.
I'm gonna regret this, but
Again, you get the sense of some base druidic magic that was essentially meant to alter a certain base property of the plant. Essentially, it was just meant to be able to thrive and survive in a much colder, much drier climate.
so
There's no
special
curse,
form of druidcraft.
In an extremely complicated form, but not special. If a druid had enough time, enough resources, and enough patience, this could be done by any druid, even a beginner. The problem is, it's just with the circumstances, with the tree being so large, and obviously the plant being so well cared for by something, the plants have been allowed to thrive and get to this point in growth.
We'll be moving on now.
Yeah. So, for the most part,
I think that tree busted one of my stitches.
You can check yourself to see.
Medical check. Where's medicine check?
For the most part, one of your stitches on your stomach is a bit loosened, but none of them have come undone.
Note to self, tighten stitches later.
And walking.
And we're walking because your random encounter table loves us.
No, this was a planned encounter.
Yeah, burned down the tree.
Okay, is anyone else noticing that things are lagging? Like I can
might just be you.
Green circle for the tree. And now there's a red circle over our compass.
Oh, that's me.
Okay. So, for the most part, things get... For the most part, things proceed pretty normal. Every once in a while, you guys see a tree similar to the one you've already seen. Big flowers are growing out of it. Clearly, this is quite simple. Things seem pretty artificially placed in that case. These flowers seem to be placed in strategic locations to form a sort of fence, especially because you've only been moving in one direction and not towards the center of the forest valley. You've been moving on the outskirts.
So that begs the question, what are they trying to keep out?
Or keep in.
So, for the most part, the day passes pretty uneventfully. Unfortunately, it gets to become evening in one of these clearings. So, do any of you want to do anything to the tree, or do you just want to leave it alone?
Probably best to leave it alone. More its origin, for what purpose it serves. Sketching, Sophie's researching.
Okay, so once you guys set up for the night, do any of you want to do anything before going to bed?
I will practice on my horn.
Okay. You do pretty well. It's not like you're trying to sing the next great ballad or anything. You're just practicing on the horn, and it sounds pretty good.
Go with a new design.
Just tell people they get a great network and a great price with Sprint.
Yes, you can get an unlimited plan and an iconic phone for just $25 a month on an LTE advanced network that's up to 2 times faster than before. Who does know?
All right, so Azrael, you've begun working on what would be essentially a magazine that would allow you to load upwards of 3 bullets into the gun. Granted, this only real purposes would serve is to cut down the reload from a full action to a full attack action to simply a reaction. It's still something you can do. You're currently working off of the idea that you're going to have a bolt action rifle. Now, it's still in like the basic phases. You don't really have anything put together yet. You're just really designing the magazine. Also, this would be a magazine that's welded to the gun itself.
Then how would you put bullets in?
Through the discharge. You've never seen World War II rifles be loaded, huh?
I've only ever seen them pop out a clip and slam them in.
Essentially like that.
You said the clip was welded into it, though.
The Springfield, not Springfield.
Oh,
the
okay.
M14.
R98
I know what you're
style.
talking about now. Okay, I was thinking of a different type of gun. I know
Yeah, the magazine's there's a magazine that it's essentially just welded to it, and bullets are loaded into the magazine through the rifle.
Right, like you take like a metal thing, you just stab it all in, then pull it out, and the bullets are in the gun.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Except that's not. Yeah, no.
Or is
No,
it
it's
similar?
all right. But point
Or-
being, all right.
Or is it similar to a shotgun where you just pushing the shells in? Oh,
All right. So, point being,
there you are.
now, Octavius,
Yes.
scratching.
Scratch what?
Scratching.
The butt artist has returned?
There's scratching somewhere.
Alright, I look towards the tree. Can I tell where the scratching is coming from?
Roll a perception check.
Found the rifle.
It's coming from the big ass tree in the center.
Alright, before I go over to Noctis, I'm gonna try to do the drawing thing again.
All right, roll another sleight of hand check.
Do I get advantage on this one?
Yeah. All right, you actually get a decent sketch down. And it's actually a sketch of you sketching. Also, your butt's drawn really weird. Huh.
Did you actually roll the same encounter again?
No, this is just a counter that's going to keep going. You guys got rolled the first time, and now you're stuck with this bastard.
Right.
Metaphorical term, not literal. But point being, also at the very end, and this is more like you don't really even realize it, but at the very point you said, at the very like corner of the page, again, you actually write out hi.
I'm just gonna ignore it and go to bed.
Right before you feel something beam you on the side of the head. It's a wadded up piece of paper.
I open it up.
It's the original sketch of you, altered butt and all, with the word hi on the left corner, but underneath it is written, "Quit trying to copy me."
Oh god, this gotta be Lucy.
Oh, this is gonna be a running gag, isn't it?
Possibly. Ah, damn it. I can go for like 10 more minutes, but then I have to leave because I have to go to get my dad from the airport.
Did you say we had till like You said 10 for some reason.
No, I know. His plane landed early.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you want to just skip past this bit and go to the next bit and see if we can get 10 minutes out of it?
Yeah. Okay, so essentially, yada, yada, yada. Day. You guys are now at a large river. This is like you managed to find a way to start making your way towards the center of the valley.
Is the river passable by any means? Or is it rapid?
So, the river is pretty normal. Though on the other side, you start to see signs of this corruption, as it's called. Unfortunately, as you guys make to try and figure out a way to cross the river, a large noise is heard on the other side.
What's it sound like?
It sounds like a large bear.
Oh no, Trinket.
At the very edge of the riverbank, you see what appear to be bodies, eviscerated and clawed to pieces. Most of them seem emaciated too, afflicted by the same curse. Whatever's on the other side seems to be eating its own. That's where we'll end for tonight. Sorry, guys, I really gotta go.
Yeah, no worries.